Hello friends, welcome to next part in blog series on developing an OCR Vision AI. As we saw in previous blogs, this is the chatbot Vision AI application we are going to build. Our end product is going to look exactly like this application. In our previous post, we discussed a high-level solution architecture diagram. We covered a lot of theory how our system application is going to look like from architecture perspective. We also discussed that we are going to build this entire application one step at a time. So in this blog today, we are going to focus on one such component, that is create an open source Chroma vector database for storing data in a vector format. Now just to let you know that I have already covered this topic in extensive detail in past. Check out this embedding ChromaDB, generating tokens from text, and finally creating a vector database video series. This is a beginner friendly getting started series. Absolutely for beginner who want to get started with working with local source GenAI LLM models and create useful GenAI application. So if you are finding this particular Vision AI blog for the first time, please take some time to review earlier posts to get some background. Here is the X link where you can find this blog, and if you go to my profile and browse to X highlights, you will find all the related video blogs there. Similarly, if you browse to my YouTube channel, you will see the same video there. And if you are a pro and just want to see the code, you can always go to my GitHub repository directly. And while you are there, I request you to please follow my X account, AShuklaX, GitHub handle AmitXShukla, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at amit.shukla. In today's section, we'll only focus on building one functionality, which addresses on building a ChromaDB. So let's get started. Initiating a Chroma vector database. So as I stated earlier, we are not going to worry about other parts of app for now. And in this section, we'll write code to address one specific problem. Once a file is dropped, it's going to trigger some local AI logic or a built-in process, which reads the data and then write the data to a SQL and a vector database. So in past videos, we have already worked on file drop component. We also set up SQLite and a FIOS vector index. Similarly, in today's blog, we are going to continue that, and we are going to set up and build a vector database called ChromaDB to store this text content. So if you want to know more about ChromaDB, tokenizer, and in general GenAI large language models, please refer to the previous videos I have shared. Setting up a Chroma vector DB. So in case if you don't know, Chroma is an open source AI native vector database designed for managing embeddings, vector search, document storage, and metadata filtering. So it provides a comprehensive solution for efficient retrieval and filtering of data, making it an ideal choice for GenAI applications. Now let's write some code. First, we need to install required library. It's very simple. Just issue the command pip install ChromaDB. Now this command is going to install the ChromaDB library using Python package manager, say pip. And then you write import ChromaDB. Now this line is going to import the ChromaDB library into your Python namespace. So making it functions and classes available for use in the script. Next, you want to import the NumPy. So write import NumPy as np. Now let's define a function called create ChromaDB. So create ChromaDB, def ChromaDB. This line defines a function named create ChromaDB, and it takes no parameters. Now let's initialize Chroma client. So client equals to ChromaDB.client. Now this line creates an instance of the Chroma client by simply calling ChromaDB.client. And assign it to a variable which is named client. Now create a new collection. So collection equals to client.create collection, and you pass a parameter saying name equals to example underscore collection. This line simply what it's doing is creating a collection, is accessing that create collection method on the client object and passing the name. And in case our collection name is example collection as an argument. So finally, the created collection is assigned to a variable collection, and finally we can use this variable in later on to access that collection. So in summary, what we did, this function initializes the Chroma client, create a new collections which is named at example collection, and returns that instance of that particular collection. Now we'll write another function. This function add this data to the database collection what we created earlier. So define the function saying def add data to ChromaDB, and here you pass two parameters, collection and data. So simply what this line is doing, this line defines a function named add data to ChromaDB that takes two parameters, collection and the data. Now convert this data to a list of dictionaries. So as you can see, ID is of type str and vector is of type vector, and then you write that in a for loop. So for I in vector, and then you enumerate up the data. Simply, in a nutshell, what this line is doing, it creates a list of dictionaries called documents. Now each document has two keys, ID and the vector. ID is a string representation of the index I, and vector is actually the corresponding vector from the data. So ID is just a is a unique key to access that data, and vector is the data. Okay. Now enumerate function, what it's going to do is used to get both the index and vector from the data. Okay. It's like simply a zip kind of function. Okay. Then we need to add these documents to the collection what we have created. Simply you say collection.add and pass these documents what you have just read through. This line is going to call the add method on the collection object. Is going to pass the documents list as an argument. So once you run this, it's going to add the documents to the Chroma collection. So in summary, what we did, this function converts the input data into a list of dictionaries, each with an ID and a vector. And then it takes those and adds this dictionary to the specified Chroma collection we created. Let's define a function called main. So def main. This line is going to define a function named main, which takes no parameters. Now create a variable, say data, with 5 vectors of dimension 3, which means that it has 5 rows and 3 columns. Now we are going to add some floating point numbers to these arrays, but eventually these vectors are represented as list of floating point numbers right now, but eventually they represent the data from the OCR coming from your OCR engine. Now we are going to create and populate the Chroma vector database. So simply you say collection equals to create Chroma DB. This line is going to call the create Chroma DB function, which we discussed earlier, and is going to create a new Chroma collection. So the created collection is assigned to the variable finally to the call collection, and then simply you just call add this method saying add data to Chroma DB, what we already created, and pass this to collection and data as a parameter. Now passing the collection and data as an arguments here. Okay, so this function adds the data to the Chroma collection and prints the number of documents in the collection. So in summary, what we did in this section here, this main function creates an example data consisting of 5 vectors. Then it uses the create Chroma DB function to create a Chroma collection, and then it adds the data variable what we just created to the collection using the add data to Chroma DB function. And finally is going to print the number of documents in that particular collection. Finally, we write if name equals to main. So this line checks if the script is being run directly as opposed to being imported as a module in another script. Now using this dunder magic method in Python, using this special variable called __ name followed by __ which is often like dunder variables, is set to main. So when this script is executed directly, instead the script is being imported. So that's the only difference. Okay, so this line ensures that main function is executed only when the script is run directly, not when it is imported as a module. This is a very common practice in Python to allow code to be reused as a module, while also providing a way to execute the same code when the script is run directly. Alright, that's all I wanted to achieve in this video today. So you have seen we have set up simple Chroma vector database, and we also created some dummy data, and we created a collection and added that data to the particular collection inside the Chroma DB. That's all I wanted to show this in this video today. And later on you will see when we work with the text processing, we are going to make use of that. We are going to take all the OCR data what we read through GenAI apps, and we are going to add those inside this same Chroma DB, which we are going to use in chatbot. There's a lot to digest, but this is the very simple step what we wanted to focus right now. We wanted to we are just proceeding step by step. So, and eventually you will see all of these components what we have created, that's going to fit into the big picture. That's all I wanted to cover in this video today. If you have any issues, please feel free to open an issue in my GitHub issue log, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.